Here to discuss stories making headlines in business is Ted Struley, editor of the Journal Record. Ted, 2 Oklahoma school districts are examining school buildings for structural integrity. Tell us more about that.
Well, we had a story a couple of weeks ago about some substandard construction on the schools and more that were destroyed in the tornadoes last year. Now, Oklahoma City Schools is looking at Centennial Mid-High here, which was designed by one of those companies, and the Norman School District is going back and inspecting 4 of their schools that were built by one of the contractors involved in Moore.
And the city of Moore continues its economic recovery following last year's tornado.
It does. Right before the tornado, their sales tax growth rate was running along at about 5%, pretty healthy. It took a big hit right after the tornadoes, but their year-to-date growth in sales tax now is at about 9.6%, so a pretty good rebound.
Sandridge Energy is facing a Justice Department investigation. What are they looking into?
Well, they got a subpoena because the Securities and Exchange Commission was looking at potential antitrust violations, again having to do with land leases or purchases or mineral rights. That's about all we know so far. It sounds very similar to the Chesapeake issue you mentioned earlier.
The State Chamber has launched a new benefits system. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, they have. They were using one they were calling Chamber Blue through a different vendor. They have a new one now. They make that available as part of their business support program to companies throughout the state.
Will Rogers World Airport is looking to expand. Why?
Well, the airport director says that just to remain competitive, the airport needs another $70 million expansion. He pointed that out right after U.S. Airways, now part of American, announced they would start direct flights to Charlotte from that airport this summer.
And there's been an effort to save Stage Center in Oklahoma City. What's the latest?
Well, this week that was voted down again, so it looks like it's headed for demolition. There was one more opportunity to appeal. The group Preservation Oklahoma filed that appeal right away, but it looks like we'll see the end of Stage Center sometime this year.
What are you working on for next week, Ted?
Reporter Sarah Terry Cobo has a story about a process called soil farming that uses very precise agriculture technology to dispose of waste from the oil field. A pretty interesting technique we'll have in Monday's paper.
And we'll be watching for that. Ted Struley, editor of the Journal Record, thank you.
Thanks for having me.